Thank you so much for joining me. Now, some have said that the deal brokered by Ahmed was exactly the kind of candidate that Alfred Nobel had envisioned for the prize all those many decades ago. Your reaction to the news of the newest Nobel Peace Prize laureate coming from that part of Africa?
Yeah, I think this is a blessing for Africa. It's the third, I think, the Nobel Prize on the continent in this particular century. And I think it's a recognition that the African people are making efforts to solve their own problems, as was indicated by the African Union, African solution to African problems. Abiy is just 1.5 years in power. He started off very well with the peace agreement with Eritrea, which solved a lot of problems in the Horn of Africa. But also, he has been playing a role in Sudan, and therefore he deserved the award, not so much because of what he has done, but what he is expected to do. I think this is the kind of Nobel Peace Prize which encourages somebody with the potential at 43 years, and having done that, I think what the world is saying is that he should take the mantle and act more proactively towards getting peace. And I think the world will be watching how he's going to do it. It can be a backfire, but I think this is really, really a positive development.
Now, if you look at the reaction coming within the political realm in Ethiopia specifically, there's been some talk of the fact that Ahmed has often gone it alone and has taken steps on his own without consulting with other people within the political realm and administrative realm of his government, just so that he could get things done. But some would say he's merely a micromanager who just gets things done. What is your view of the tactics he's used to go about the international work that he's done?
I think the Nobel Peace Prize itself is for what he has done in regional peace, particularly in Eritrea, the efforts he made in Sudan, and I guess more of that Nobel Peace Prize is to encourage him to do more. It is the kind of the effort that you do. Ethiopia is a major power in Africa and in the region, and I think what the Nobel Prize Peace Committee is saying is that Ethiopia must pick the mantle and play a peaceful role. I think that's the main message. You do recall the Nobel Peace Prize between Israel and Palestine that was given to Arafat and to the former Prime Minister of Israel. There are those kind of efforts that are done to encourage, and I think that is a very, very positive move from the Norwegian Nobel Peace Committee to not only recognize what he has done, but to signal that there is more to be done.
What kind of impact do you believe this will have on how Ahmed is viewed in his own region, both in Ethiopia and the neighbouring region? He has also been praised for instituting democratic reforms internally and bringing justice to those found guilty of corruption. But there's been criticism that some of those reforms have been short-lived. If you look at some of the borders that have been opened, have since been closed. Do you think that criticism is fair?
Yeah, I am on record in terms of my own writing, having said what he needs to do. For example, the direction he needs to take, and I do that as a scholar. And I think even with that, with all the criticism that we have made, I think he is one of the greatest leaders in the region. He needs to be recognized and he needs to be honored. And the criticism that may have been made is basically to give him a sense of direction, or even to point to him the pitfalls that might come. And I think he has one of the best goodwills in the region. He has goodwill of most of his neighbors. And I think what the Nobel Peace Prize is saying, the committee is telling him that he has to be on top of things. I think that's really the message. Because 1 year on, there are lots of challenges that are going to come. He has an election to face next year. Everybody will be watching how he's going to do that. Possibly that would have, the Nobel Peace Prize would have waited for that, but it's awarded for what he has done so far, which is basically bringing peace to the region between Eritrea and Ethiopia, in Sudan itself, and playing a role in other parts in South Sudan, and so on and so forth. So He deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, despite all the criticism that might come. Nobody is immune to criticism, particularly in such a dynamic environment like the Horn of Africa. It is the equivalent of the world's Middle East. The Horn of Africa is basically Africa's Middle East, where problems are always there. But he needs to take the mantle and move.
Thank you so much for that. That's Peter Kangwanja of the Africa Policy Institute joining us live there from Nairobi in Kenya.